Toyota's CEO has dropped a bombshell announcement, revealing the company's breakthrough solid-state battery technology. This next-generation battery promises an astounding range of up to 1,000 miles on a single charge and can be recharged in as little as 5 minutes. If realized, this innovation could revolutionize the electric vehicle industry, setting a new benchmark for performance, convenience, and sustainability. Today, most of the batteries we hear about are lithium-ion, the same type found in everything from mobile phones and laptops to electric scooters. These batteries work by moving tiny particles called lithium ions back and forth, a process that enables charging and discharging. However, lithium-ion batteries rely on a liquid electrolyte, which, while necessary for operation, also brings serious drawbacks such as overheating, leakage, the risk of bursting, and limited lifespan. This is where solid-state batteries step in. As the name suggests, they replace the liquid electrolyte with a solid one, performing the same function of moving ions, but in a safer, more reliable way. By eliminating the liquid, problems like leakage, overheating, and fire hazards are nearly removed. Even more impressive is the energy density. Solid-state batteries can store far more energy in less space. For example, an electric car that travels 400 to 500 kilometers on a lithium-ion battery could reach 800 to 1,000 kilometers with a solid-state version. Charging is also revolutionary. While fast charging a lithium-ion battery can take 30 to 40 minutes, solid-state technology can achieve a full charge in just 5 to 10 minutes. Imagine recharging your car as quickly as filling a petrol tank. The distinction between gasoline and electric vehicles would almost disappear. That's why solid-state batteries are being hailed as a true game-changer. At their core, they work by moving lithium ions between positive and negative electrodes, just like lithium-ion batteries, but with a stable solid electrolyte that reduces risks and enhances durability. The result is a battery that lasts longer, holds more charge, and remains reliable even after repeated cycles, making it both safer and more efficient than traditional lithium-ion technology. Traditional batteries begin to weaken after about 1,000 to 2,000 charging cycles, but solid-state batteries can last much longer, meaning your electric car's battery won't need to be replaced as often. This is a major benefit for everyday customers, since the battery is the most expensive component of an EV. That's why major companies like Toyota, Samsung, and QuantumScape are investing heavily in this technology. In fact, Toyota has announced plans to bring solid-state battery vehicles to market by 2027, a move that could spark a revolution in the auto industry. One of the biggest breakthroughs is the 1,000 kilometers range. Simply put, range means how far a car can travel on a single charge. Most EVs today offer between 300 kilometers and 600 kilometers, which requires multiple recharges during long trips, such as from Delhi to Mumbai or New York to Chicago. A 1,000 kilometers range completely changes that reality. For daily use, the impact is even greater. In India, people drive 40 to 50 kilometers a day on average, in the US about 60 to 70 kilometers, and in Europe around 30 to 40 kilometers. With a 1,000 kilometers battery, one full charge could last 15 to 20 days of normal driving, removing the constant worry of charging every few days. Even long road trips would no longer trigger range anxiety. To put this in perspective, petrol cars average 600 to 700 kilometers per tank, while diesel cars reach 800 to 900 kilometers. For the first time, EVs could surpass traditional vehicles in range. This shift could convince many hesitant buyers to finally choose electric, especially in countries like India, where charging infrastructure is still developing. A 1,000 kilometers battery means peace of mind, no fear of being stranded without power, and a major step toward making EVs the preferred choice worldwide. A range of 1,000 kilometers in an electric car means you could travel from New York to Detroit or Los Angeles to San Francisco on a single charge. In Europe, the impact is just as remarkable. You could drive from Paris to Rome or Berlin to Vienna without stopping to recharge. Beyond convenience, this also saves valuable time. Today, even fast charging takes at least 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes longer during long-distance travel. But if a solid-state battery can power a car for 1,000 kilometers and recharge in just 5 to 10 minutes, the experience would feel no different from refueling at a petrol station. That's a major step toward making EVs more appealing to everyday drivers, eliminating both charging delays and frequent stops. To put this into perspective, imagine a road trip from Delhi to Shimla, about 350 kilometers. Current EVs can get you there, but would require charging before making the return trip. With a 1,000 kilometers solid-state battery, you could travel to Shimla, return to Delhi, and still have charge left. The same applies to long American road trips or cross-country drives in Europe. But how is a 5-minute charge even possible? Today's fastest chargers, like Tesla's 250 kilowatt superchargers or Porsche's 350 kilowatt stations, still take 20 to 30 minutes to charge a battery to 80%. To achieve a true 5-minute full charge, charging stations would need to supply over 1,000 kilowatts, more than 1 megawatt of power. While such technology exists, deploying it on a large scale requires a massive upgrade to power grids worldwide. This means the future of fast charging depends not just on the battery, but also on the infrastructure that supports it. On the battery side, the secret lies in chemistry. Lithium-ion batteries use liquid electrolytes, which heat up dangerously during fast charging. In contrast, solid-state batteries rely on solid electrolytes, allowing ions to move faster and more safely, enabling the battery to handle higher currents and reduce charging times. Still, challenges remain in managing this process effectively, but the potential is clear. Solid-state batteries could make ultra-fast, safe charging a reality. When a battery charges extremely fast, it generates a large amount of heat. If that heat is not controlled properly, the battery could be damaged or even become dangerous. That is why research companies are focusing on developing advanced cooling technologies. In solid-state batteries, the impact of heat is believed to be less severe than in lithium-ion batteries, since the chances of fire are much lower. Still, achieving true 5-minute charging will require sophisticated cooling methods, such as liquid cooling, air cooling, or special heat-resistant materials. The question then arises, is this really safe? So far, reports and research suggest that solid-state batteries are far safer than lithium-ion because they lack liquid electrolytes, meaning the risks of leakage, short-circuiting, or fire are significantly reduced. However, the claim of 5-minute charging has only been proven in laboratory tests, not yet on real vehicles in real-world conditions. That is why researchers believe the technology is possible, but not fully ready today. Just a decade ago, fast charging meant waiting an hour, but now it takes only 20 to 30 minutes. This steady progress shows that within the next 5 to 7 years, solid-state batteries and charging infrastructure could advance enough to make 5 to 10-minute charging a reality. But for that to happen, not only the batteries themselves, but also the entire power grid and charging network must evolve. At present, the dream of ultra-fast charging is not practical, but it is certainly possible in the near future. If successful, this would eliminate the biggest fear surrounding EVs, long charging times, and could push people to switch from petrol and diesel to electric vehicles faster than ever, transforming the automobile industry. However, the path is not without challenges. The first obstacle is cost. While lithium-ion batteries are already expensive, their prices are dropping with mass production. Solid-state batteries, on the other hand, require costly materials like solid electrolytes that are difficult to manufacture and process. Initially, their price may be 2 to 3 times higher than lithium-ion batteries, meaning they will likely appear first in luxury and high-end vehicles. The second challenge is mass production. Making small solid-state cells in labs is manageable, but scaling up to millions of battery packs is far more complex. The materials must be layered with extreme precision in ultra-clean environments, and even tiny defects can render a battery useless. This is why no company has yet achieved large-scale production, though Toyota, Samsung, and QuantumScape are all working toward it. Another technical issue is long-term durability. In repeated charge and discharge cycles, cracks can form in the solid electrolyte layers, reducing performance and shortening lifespan. For EVs to be practical, The battery must withstand millions of cycles across every climate and condition, from freezing winters to scorching summers. And finally, the charging infrastructure remains a global hurdle. Even if Toyota launches a 5-minute charge battery, most countries lack high-power stations capable of supplying the 1,000 kilowatts or more required for such speeds. Upgrading national power grids to handle this demand will be a massive challenge. Despite these difficulties, the future is promising. Just as mobile phones and LED TVs became affordable with time, solid-state batteries are expected to become cheaper within the next 5 to 7 years as production scales up. Initially used in premium vehicles, they will eventually reach everyday consumers. If these obstacles are overcome, solid-state batteries could revolutionize the auto industry. On a global scale, Toyota's breakthrough could shift entire markets. In Japan, it would restore leadership in EV innovation and align with government goals on climate change. In America, it would challenge Tesla directly, offering long-range and ultra-fast charging to suit the country's culture of long drives. In Europe, where strict environmental laws are pushing for a ban on petrol and diesel cars by 2035, solid-state batteries could accelerate the shift to EVs, with companies like Volkswagen and Mercedes racing to compete. In India, where charging infrastructure is still limited, a 1,000 kilometers range would solve half the problem, letting drivers go 2 to 3 weeks on a single charge. The ripple effects would be enormous for the oil industry. As EVs surpass petrol and diesel in both range and convenience, oil demand could fall sharply over the next decade, forcing energy companies to reinvest